Hi, everybody. Fiona Pearman and Kate Bora coming to you from Core Confidence. And today we're talking to leaders when they are noticing that their team members are experiencing self-doubt, that inner critic, they're second-guessing themselves. Often we see this as people not backing themselves. They might be saying to you, I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to appear stupid. They're not taking credit for their achievements. They're often not applying for roles or project opportunities because they think they haven't got enough skills and experience. And very often we hear leaders saying, I've got this talented person. They're so good at what they do, and yet they keep thinking they can't. And what can I do to help them explore and unpack this so that they can achieve all they're capable of?
Yeah, I think the first thing is to acknowledge what's going on, right? We recognize all of those things you mentioned as signals for self-doubt. But often we kind of sit back going, how do I deal with this? I don't know how. And so I think acknowledgement is really important. Sometimes, often it's ignored, dismissed or minimized. And actually that makes it worse. If we say, don't be stupid, you've got everything you need. And immediately, in your team member, they feel shameful. Like, you're saying I shouldn't feel this way, but I do feel this way. It's not something that can just be removed because you say, no, don't be silly. You've totally got this. It's absolutely not that simple. In our experience, it's been things that have been, building up over decades. And so acknowledging what's going on is really important. And then you've got a really great opportunity, right, to ask great questions to help coach your team member through it.
Yeah, I think the piece here is, you can see their capabilities sometimes better than they can. And so you've got an opportunity to get them to reality check what's going on. They've got all these thoughts buzzing around in their heads about why they can't do it, and yet you could see they can. And so we often then say, help them see what you can see. When you ask them good questions, when you encourage them to do something differently, that might even be permission around, can I give you a little bit of feedback? When you say this might be a stupid question, or you use that self-deprecating language, it actually undermines your credibility a bit. And the more that you can help them see that, the more likely they are to start doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah, we often talk about the feedback triangle. So often when self-doubt is really present, we're just relying on our own feedback, right? The top of the triangle. And unfortunately, that's a function of our observations of what we've done externally. So we've done what we've said. It's often a mirror of what we've seen visually in our stakeholders, their responses in the moment, but it's also a function of what's going on in my inner talk, my inner critic often, right? And so it's all of that data that's coming together that says, maybe I didn't do so well, or I asked that stupid question and it didn't land so well. And so what we've seen is if we rely only on our own self-feedback, that's where things can get a little bit out of perspective. So encouraging them to get feedback from, of course, from you, their leader and other supporters, but equally being able to lean in from a place of personal power to perhaps those people who can give them some constructive feedback, and then they can sit back with your help and calibrate all of that intel, all of that feedback to be able to actually make a good assessment of where they're at in respect to potentially, applying for a role or putting their hat in the ring to lead a project.
I think the big opportunity here is to encourage them to take what we call small acts of confidence. What's that one question they could ask in a meeting? What's the one thing they could do when they engage with a senior stakeholder? What's the one comment they can maybe make? And the more they do this, it'll become easier with time. And when you support them to do that, maybe even help them with a bit of prep, thinking about that ahead of time, they start to do the things that they can do. I think the other thing we often suggest leaders do is do a little bit of debrief, unpack after they've been in a fairly high stakes environment, or they've been in a big meeting, or they were asked to present something, is talk to them about, what went well there. Let them kind of see and appreciate what you saw went well, what they might have recognized, and also what they could do differently. And that gives them a chance to think about what they're going to do next time, but also your perspective on what they could maybe do to enhance their impact in those situations.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, we'd love for you to share it with anyone in your network, perhaps a team member who might benefit from it. If you'd like to find out more about the work we do, how we support female leaders in organisations, build the confidence, the brand and the profile and influence to be able to achieve their career goals, we'd love to talk with you. Head over to our website, coreconfidence.com.au, and you can contact us there.